Oh, that was a sick kick. I don't know why they're fighting, what the context is, but I feel that this fight is important somehow. Hey guys, John here, aka Bruce Lee. We have another reaction video today. This one's Prodigal Son Final Fight. This is another recommendation from one of you guys or girls at home. So thank you very much for tuning in and commenting. If you're new to the channel or not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing because it helps me out big time, and that way I can hang out with you again. Or just leaving a like absolutely supports the video. We'll be rating this video based on two criteria. Number one is how realistic I think the martial arts are based on the perspective of me, a kickboxing teacher. So I kind of more Muay Thai experience, but not Kung Fu. But I'm still gonna take a look and have some rudimentary exposure to that. And the other criteria is gonna be just how entertaining it is, since that's the main objective of like any movie at the end of the day. So let's get into it. It looks kind of funny off the bat, the way he's like, just the way his shoulders move. Okay, it's actually decent blocks. Ooh, ooh, that was a sick kick. Let's look at that again. I think it's a 540 cheat step. Oh, so we went 360 and then went another 180. That's a perfect 540 spinning back kick. And the main purpose of that is obviously the spin will add momentum to your kick, but also really fakes your opponent out, because like basically there's three fakes to it. Of like three legs come at you and don't hit you. So you're trying to, like, you don't know which one's gonna come at you and to block or to evade. So absolutely it works like that. If you want to learn how to do that kick, Scott Adkins has a really neat tutorial on it on his YouTube channel. Let's keep going. I don't know what he said. Cool. Good double kick. Ooh. He's getting bruised up a little bit, hey? Sorry, my camera's cutting some of this guy's face out. Cool. Alright. This guy's mustache right here, that's like the most facial hair I can grow. It's just being Asian, I guess. Okay. Let's go more elbows. Nice. Oh, watch the eyes. Nice. It's good distancing. Oh. He anticipated the 540 kick again. So the reason 540 kick works is that when the legs are coming at you, you're not sure which one to block or evade. A good thing to do is to actually just instead attack the supporting leg. So he did like a leg sweep there. Absolutely realistic, and it's a good idea. Like that's what I would do too with against really heavy kickers. I like to attack their legs, whichever one the supporting is gonna be. Leg kicks are the way to go in my opinion. So very tactically and strategically, it just makes a lot of sense. Why didn't he hit him again? Is time frozen? Oh, okay. That guy was really still. Like I thought this time was frozen right now because he's perfectly still. That's a little weird, and I'm not saying it's not realistic in the sense that if you're trying to have like an honorable duel or like hand-to-hand duel, and you don't want to hit someone while they're down, I guess that does make sense. But I'm not a big fan of if this is a life or death situation, or like if you're on the street and you have a chance when they're down, like you get on top of them, you get into full bound, or you do what you gotta do, and you pummel them until they're completely incapacitated, or you know. I don't want to say kill. Don't kill people unnecessarily, you guys, but you do want to do what you can to protect yourself. And I don't know if letting them back up is the right call, but again, if this is like an honor thing, you know. what I find a little bit curious too is that this is the third pose where they kind of like set up. So I'm not sure if they are just like setting up different footwork each time, or different sequence of moves are being set up each time they kind of like set themselves up like this. Like the other guy with the bandana, he had more of an elbow stance here. Now he's got his left hand out with his left hand, left shoulder, left hip forward. So I'm curious to see, like, again, I don't train in Kung Fu, but like when I get into a fight, I'm in the same stance 10 out of 10 times. Like every time I get into my stance, it should look the same and consistent and ready to go with a very, like, you know, the traditional kickboxer stance has a lot of different options to it inherently. So switching up from like, you know, squared off to bladed to you know, whatever other stances there, you know, you can think of. I don't know if that's super practical just from like where I train and how I would fight. So I'm kind of curious what forms they're using or what's happening here. But I thought that was a little neat. He's got similar forms. Oh, that was a good double kick. Nice hand play, but... So let's watch that. When I mean hand play, it's whenever you try to manipulate someone's like wrists or forearms or their hands to like, they kind of do like this kind of stuff for the sake of the Kung Fu, but like in like Muay Thai, you'll see like hand plays or hand traps all the time. Even like a quick thing where you pull someone's hand down like this, it can be really pivotal to landing a big strike. So they got, let's back up one more time. Right here, where the hands get tied up like that, like that's really good hand play. But he let him get a spinning back kick off on him. Getting the higher ground. You know what's interesting about this, where he jumps on the stairs? There is some like logic to getting the high ground, so you can have a gravity to punch down and add to your power. But I wonder if like being on the stairs, like for me, is not enough room to move and pivot. Because like when you kick and punch, like when it comes to boxing, for example, like the whole hands, like what's happening with your hands is almost like the least important part of it. And it's really what's happening to your hips and your feet that are driving the force, and like not being able. So yes, you're taller now, but not being able to move as much forward and back without like tripping over the stairs. I actually don't know if this is an advantage to get up in this particular case, but it's really cool. You see how like he's backing up and he has to like to consciously step up to the next steps. Like I think in real life that wouldn't really happen. I think you would just trip. Like it's really hard to if you train on a flat surface 24/7. It's hard to start changing and elevating on stairs and fighting. Cool. Good hand play, but it's the kicks. That guy's kicking dexterity, the one without the bandana, is really good. Like, he brings up his knee and snaps a bunch of these kicks at a bunch of different angles. And so, like, when it comes to just, like, the hand play and the elbows, like, the guy with the bandana, which I assume is the prodigal son, or was the main character, he's doing okay, but it's these kicks. He's having a lot of trouble dealing with these kicks. Good elbow. Oh, that's a good body hit. That's perfect. That right there in the solar plexus is the perfect place to hit the body too. Like your abs, you can condition them to be really strong and take punches, but like right in the solar plexus, it tends to be like really soft, and it just sinks in a bit. Excellent work. He's getting too wild though. Gotta be careful just doing the same thing over and over. Oh, he switched it up. That was really cool. So what he did is like it's kind of like a hand trap or like a jab, like a back fist jab, like there, elbow. Out, elbow, and then the fourth time, the guy is like getting used to like block, and then he goes jab, elbow, and instead of elbowing, jab with the back fist, instead of elbowing through the fourth time like he did the previous 3 times, and so he tricked his opponent into a pattern. He went in for another jab, or like another straight, going with his right hand instead, and it snuck through. That's really like that's pretty realistic in my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, you get them used to, like, for example, you throw, like, a jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. At the last second, you go jab, like, right uppercut. That absolutely works, you know, like, as simple as it sounds. Trying to get a pattern flowing or making your opponent think you're fighting in a pattern and then switching up the pattern. You know, like, it makes sense. Yeah! Capitalize. Oh. Up kick. Walking into a front kick or an up kick like that is like when you walk forward, there's a reason why front kicks or like teeps and Muay Thai are so effective. Is that like when you walk into it and carry your momentum into that leg, it hurts even more. So that's really unfortunate. And the way the level he jumped up there is just for the sake of the choreography, so that's not super real. But honestly, like the principle of what's happening in terms of like the power transfer totally makes sense. And you know what, like people get knocked out by this, right? Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, that's the classic. Like for a long time that was the cover of so many UFC like games or like posts because it's iconic. And yeah, totally realistic. So he goes in for a clinch. I don't know if that's the right call. Oh! That was smart. That is the right call. Never mind. Good. He should keep attacking that left eye. Okay. So the guy's being more aggressive now. Good. Attack that hematoma. Oh, nice. Nice. So what he did there, so there's an optimal range where kicks can land. So it's basically like a kick can land from like whatever the length is of about halfway of your shin to your heel. That's the optimal distance that someone can land a kick. If you actually impede that and get in too close, it makes the kick very ineffective. So even though he's pushing him down the stairs here, if he didn't push him down the stairs, like this would be the right call. Like instead of staying at range where the kicks are very useful, getting in tight where only punches and elbows work, and where apparently this bandana guy seems to have advantage in my eyes. Very smart. Very unfortunate on the stairs though. Ugh. Respect to the stunt actor or the real actor. Oh yeah, attack that right eye. Nice Superman punch. Oh, good. Keep attacking that. Yes, that's what you do. So what he did there was that he landed that spinning kick. That was actually not optimal. So you see it hit him there with his calf. It still hurts, don't get me wrong, but you can actually hurt your own calf a little bit. And you hit him in the soft, so in the neck is a good spot because you can cause a lot of trauma both to the brain and to the neck by hitting there. But ideally though, if he landed his heel right on the jaw, that would have definitely knocked the guy out. The flip that the guy does at the end here, again, not super realistic. He's just kind of like adding it for the stunt. But like in principle, this kick definitely hurts. A spin kick like that, or I guess it's more of a hook kick. Very nice. Ooh. That's really good. The guy's flexible, man. He just did the splits. So that was it for Prodigal Son, you guys. Really cool scene. The only things that were unrealistic, I would say, like, and this one I'm not taking a point off, is that like when you take a kick and the guy like jumps, like it like flips like 180 in the air, or like the guy took a front kick and like went flying and did a backflip. Like that's obviously an exaggeration, to be honest with you guys, but you know, I'm not taking a point off for that. It's just for dramatic purposes. Like the only thing that I thought was a little bit unrealistic was the fact that they could fight going up the stairs and changing elevation. I think that's way harder in real life than people think it is. And the other thing is that this happens a lot in kung fu movies, that like when you block kicks with just your forearm and your hand like this, like I find if you have a really good kicker, that doesn't really work. You just end up hurting yourself more for it, right? Like someone's entire shin bone and leg attached hitting you with just the size of your forearm. Like look at the size, like no matter how big your arm is, like it's just not the size of an entire leg, right? It just doesn't make any sense that this can accurately and safely block an entire leg. So that's one thing I'm not a huge fan of. Even though they're doing more snap kicks as opposed to like carrying through like a Muay Thai kick, I still think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that you can block like that. But overall realism, guys, like I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Like in terms of kung fu, like as I know it, very realistic. And what I liked about this too is like there's not a lot of like wavy stuff. Like it's not going like all the way over here to hit him like that. They didn't go all the way out and then in like this. They did moves that like made sense to me of like, okay, hand trap, hand play, elbow straight, jab straight, you know, coming in very straight lines, trying to scoop under, take short range of motion to hit the target. Like, that for me is realistic fighting. Like, you can't do this whole like bang, because and at the time that you're doing this, they're moving out of the way or blocking. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe when they're far apart and they're trying to get their, like, they're trying to set up their footwork and their stance, like, that makes sense. But in the middle of the striking, you can't be doing all this wavy stuff I see in some other kung fu movies. So and I'm not saying that that's like, it's bad that you shouldn't do that if you're training kung fu. Like, there's a reason why you do all the, like, the full range of motion there. I'm just saying, for like a realistic fight, a lot of that stuff I think is like wasted trajectory. Like, it's wasted time to come all the way here and then go straight when I could just pop, go straight. So I think they really portrayed how effective kung fu is as a martial art in this. So I really like that. In terms of entertainment factor, I'm gonna give that also, you know what? I thought it was really good. I would like to maybe hear a bit more like intense music. Like, maybe I'm just a Hans Zimmer fan or something like that, but I just like intense music. I'm actually giving it a 10 out of 10. Like, I thought it was really, really good. It felt intense. It was bloody. It was like, their acting was really good, not just from like the choreography of the fighting, but just like, it just felt not just real, but it felt like there was a certain gravity and like importance to the fight. I haven't even seen the movie. Like, I don't know why they're fighting, what the context is, but I feel that this fight is important somehow. And I love the gravity of the situation there. And when I can appreciate that's also decently realistic, as well acted and choreographed and well shot, like, I think that is cinematography at its finest, right? It's when all those pieces of the puzzle come together. So I was gonna give this a 9 just because of the music, but I think that, you know, the music would help, but the lack of it doesn't take away from how amazing the scene is. So again, thank you guys for recommending this video. I hope you enjoyed it or saw some value in it or just had fun watching it with me. And if so, please leave a like because it helps me out big time. And if you want to see some more of my stuff, I do martial arts and fitness stuff or motivation stuff or all kinds of, I kind of go what's on my mind and what you guys recommend to me. So if you want to be a part of that community, I would love for you to be, and please consider subscribing. All right, that's it for now. John, aka Bruce Lee, out.